welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel for today, Saturday the 9th of September. One big news story developing overnight in relation to Celtic, and a few updates regarding our players who were on international duty last night, and also going to do a wee brief preview of the Women's Champions League qualifier, 7 o'clock tonight in Oslo, where Celtic are playing Vålerenga. And the winner of that then goes into a two-legged playoff, and the winner of that playoff then goes into the group stage of the Champions League. Before we get going with the video as proper, please like and subscribe. All completely free of charge. Does help boost my videos, get them viewed by other people, or at least gives other people the option of knowing that they exist to click on. Also, there is a Celtic against Dundee related trivia question, as that will be Celtic's next game a week today. So, major news cropping up overnight is that Liel Abada, our young Israeli international, injured his quadriceps muscle in training and has been flown back to Scotland for assessment. The current estimate is that he will be out for 4 weeks, which would mean he would miss the next 2 Champions League fixtures and 4 Scottish League fixtures, which obviously is quite a problem for Celtic, as he would be our first choice on the right side of our front three. However, we do have backup with Yang, Forrest, Tilio hopefully should be fit by that time. Maeda can play down the right or the left. Lewis Palma primarily plays off the left, but could play off the right as well, cutting in on his right foot, similar to Paddy Roberts from a few years ago. And so if if Abada is out for 4 weeks, Celtic would actually have the options to cover for him. Having a wee look at estimates for quadriceps injuries, they can last just a few days if it is a bruise. However, from the symptoms described for Abada's injury, it does feel like he has torn some muscle fibers or strained the tendon to the quadriceps muscle. Then those are at best 1 to 2 weeks out, but typically 3 to 4 weeks, with initially resting, icing heat, pain relief, and then followed up by physiotherapy to speed recovery and strengthen the muscle. I think from the indications, we'll need to expect him to be out for the full 4 weeks, which takes him past the Feyenoord and Lazio Champions League matches. Other Celtic players appear to have come through the international matches last night unscathed. McGregor had a good game in the more defensive role alongside Billy Gilmore in Scotland's 3-0 win in Cyprus. And McGregor had a good role. A lot of linking defence, midfield, getting the ball out wide, and did have one shot on goal, which wasn't a massive threat, but it does show that he is able to replicate his various Celtic roles at the international level, and was, I thought, one of Scotland's better players last night. Also on full international duty last night was our Honduran international Luis Palma, who played as one of 2 strikers in a 4-4-2 for Honduras in a 1-0 loss in the CONCACAF Nations tournament against Jamaica in Jamaica. He appears to have had an average game, but it does actually show that if Celtic were to require him to play through the middle, alongside or in replacement for Kyogo, that it is a role that he can successfully play. Paulo Bernardo started and played the full 90 minutes for Portugal's under-21 team, had 4 shots on goal, 3 off target with 1 hitting the post, and had a generally good game, and appeared to play on the left side of a midfield 3, which some people say is his best role, is playing a more advanced role, which kind of at the moment is being played by Matt O'Reilly, although he could similarly play the same role on the right, a role which primarily has been played by David Turnbull this season. And apart from the first half of the first game, Turnbull's performances have been rather poor, in my opinion. And so maybe Bernardo will start on the right side of midfield against Dundee a week today, while Rio Hitati fully recovers from his injury, maybe coming off the bench. Also on international duty last night was Johnny Kenny, who is currently a Celtic player on loan at Shamrock Rovers. He played 72 minutes against Turkey in a 3-2 win. However, he did not score, and our other Republic of Ireland under-21 internationalist, Rocco Vata, stayed on the bench. Those were all the Celtic players on international duty last night, and it would appear all have come through unscathed, uninjured, with McGregor having another game on Tuesday, as will Lewis Palma on Wednesday, and then they will be back to Celtic in preparation for the game on Saturday. Finally, for today, just a quick preview of the Celtic against Vålerenga Women's Champions League match on this evening in Oslo. The game will be played at Vålerenga's home ground, as is the usual way at this stage of the Champions League qualifiers for women, where one of 4 teams plays both their games at home. Celtic go into the game with a full squad of players to pick from, apart from our Argentinian defender Munoz, who is off having had anterior cruciate knee surgery and is likely out for 9 to 12 months. However, we go into the game with a full squad who should be fully recovered from Wednesday's game, and I would look to Celtic's key players such as Lafersky and Gallagher up front, with the strength of Caitlin Hayes, Kelly Clark and Chloe Craig in defence. And also we have the backup of a very, very talented goalkeeper, Kelsey Doherty. Having had a look at the recent Vålerenga women's team games against Minsk and previous games in the Norwegian Women's League, Vålerenga have quite a number of very talented players. They had 5 players at the recent Women's World Cup, with 3 representing Norway and 2 Denmark. They have some very skillful strikers and attacking midfielders, and have actually quite a fluid way of playing, with midfielders joining the attack, defenders pushing forward also. and actually do play in a similar style to Celtic, and they have a number of goal threats throughout the team. And they also have the current Norwegian international goalkeeper Guro Pettersen, who was in the Norwegian squad at the World Cup. Players to look out for if you are watching this evening: Karina Savik, who is one of their main strikers, along with Mimi Luft Winius, who is a Swedish player. They also have a very talented Swedish player coming off the bench called Felicia Rogic. They have a midfield three of Ulu Tvetin, Lynn Tinebo, and Thea Bielda, all of whom are good midfield players, all of whom pose a goal threat also. And they typically have a strong defensive three with Kovic of America, Thompson of Denmark, and Pettersen of Norway. And so I think this could be a difficult game for Celtic against a talented team with probably more experience at the international level and the Champions League level. As Vålerenga did go one step further a couple of years ago in their qualifying, although they have yet to reach the group stages of the Women's Champions League. I think also the home advantage will play a role, although watching the recent matches, there was not a big crowd to watch Vålerenga in their league matches, and Celtic did actually take quite a travelling support for the game against Brøndby at the same stadium on Wednesday. The game will be covered live on Celtic TV, and also there will be text live updates via YouTube and also via the BBC Sports website. And so there are several ways that we can follow and support the girls tonight. So good luck to the Celtics women's team. Hopefully all our current players off on international duty come through unscathed over the next few days and are back fully in training for next Saturday's fixture against Dundee in preparation for the Feyenoord Champions League match. And so for today, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, goodbye, and hail, hail.